In today's episode, Courtney and I have the pleasure of sitting down with DJ and Tori Carroll, the owners of Carroll Media. And we're going to break this one up into two parts. All right. So part one is all about business ownership, how to increase your mindset, belief in yourself. We're going to dive into some struggles that we've both experienced as entrepreneurs and business owners and how we pulled ourselves out of that struggle, what building businesses looks like with a spouse. With that being said, let's start the show. You struggle with the life insurance sales conversation and you're about to quit your career. Don't. This is exactly why we created the Six-Figure Life Insurance Producer course. You're trying to sell life insurance like an auto insurance policy or homeowner's insurance policy. If you're anything like me, that's exactly what I was doing and I struggled. I hated what I did, and this is exactly why we created the course, because I was never trained and neither have you been. Life insurance is a different type of conversation. It's a different type of sell. And that's exactly what you learn in this course. Everything from how to bring up life insurance on those new business P&C sales conversations, how to pivot to your current customers, how to prospect to your current customers. How about how to have an appointment with your customers so you write bigger life insurance policies, bigger death benefit, more premium. If you're tired of struggling, you don't have to struggle. You don't have to quit what you're doing. This course will solve your problems. You get the word tracks, the scripts, the video-led training. And the best part is you own it forever. One investment gets you this course forever. So if you're ready to be more confident than ever in what you do and help more people out with life insurance and make six figures as a life insurance producer, make the investment today. Hey, welcome to the Insurance Buzz. We are your hosts, Michael and Courtney Weaver, and we've got two very special guests with us today, DJ and Tori Carroll. What's up, guys?
Woo! Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having us on, guys.
Team, back again. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
And for those that didn't know we have a YouTube, make sure you check out the YouTube, because you also get to see their beautiful little 9-month girl in the podcast episode,
right.
baby.
Little
we have
Willow
a future
Everly
entrepreneur. I know.
making her debut on the world. Yeah. First podcast, Willow, in 9 months.
Doing more than most people do in a lifetime, baby. Let's
Honestly,
go at 9 months
though.
old. I know. Public speaking, getting over that fear at 9 months old. I love it. So I love your guys' vision, mission statement. We want to weaponize the next generation of business owners and their teams. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. A lot of that comes from just like where I started senior year of high school, starting my first business, turning down several football offers, and decided instead of being a chemical engineer, I was going to disappoint everybody and be an entrepreneur. And, wanted to make the resources and the training and the education that I wish I would have had when I was a senior in high school. And unfortunately, I didn't get much guidance. The guidance counselor actually tried to talk me out to start my first business instead of like calling the local like Chevy dealership and finding me a mentor, right? Long time to figure it out, but if I don't go to school, they don't get all the full funding that they would have got, right? So it wasn't behoove of them to steer me into entrepreneurship. But Tori and I've been together for 10 years, and I've been an entrepreneur for 15, and this will be a 16th year. It's kind of crazy how fast it's going by. And you really, once you have a kiddo, man, it like just takes off even faster. But I have this like newfound drive to really help people, and that's like my whole mission in life, and the whole purpose is to make content, podcasts, trainings, coaching, speaking on stage, all of that to help the next generation of business owners and their teams, because the world's changed, man. We're in a new era of business. What worked for you in 1970 does not work in 2023. And so guys that are coming on the scene now and starting businesses and getting into entrepreneurship, it's a different game out there. So it's our mission to try to equip those guys with the weapons they need to be successful.
And isn't it crazy? Over the last 15 years, entrepreneurship went from being, oh, what is entrepreneurship? You don't want to own a business, to being like, dude, entrepreneurship's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, I wish I got like all the fanfare there is around entrepreneurship, because like it was like people were like, I had a little lawn care business, and people were like, so what, DJ? You just gonna like mow grass for the rest of your life, and it's like they couldn't see the bigger vision. But that brings me to a point that I always try to make to people. When I say young entrepreneurs, dude, you could be 60 years old, but be in your first year in business, and I consider you a young entrepreneur, right? When you're just getting started, you have to believe in yourself when no one else does. That is like the fundamental core principle, because you can see it and other people can't. And you just got to keep believing and keep driving towards that mission.
I never even knew that owning a business or being an entrepreneur was an option. Like, that's not anything that they push. It's all, you want to go to college, and college is the biggest option. And if you really don't go there and you don't go into a trade, like, you've kind of failed at it. So really, until I met DJ, which I was 20 then, which is still really young, I mean, I didn't even know that was an option. Like, okay, cool. I was going to nursing school the whole time. That was my big goal. So it's nice for people to know, for kids to know, I guess, that you can go in business for yourself. You can write your own, your own path.
It's also really helpful when you have a family too, because it's like, I couldn't imagine trying to like drop her off at 9 months old to like some stranger to watch all day that I don't know. I would cry. It would be really, really hard.
Yeah.
She might want that bottle.
So I'm fascinated because, Tori, you were in the military when you met DJ. And
Yeah, so I had just like signed up and sworn in when I met DJ.
DJ, I need to know, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs who they're the only entrepreneur in the family and their partner is not in that space. So was that the setup with you guys, that Tori was not in the entrepreneur space? You were. How do you take that vision? Because you go in and you can see what no one else can see as an entrepreneur. You're like, this is the path. What was that conversation like to get her bought into where you guys were headed?
That's good. That's a good question. Nobody has asked us that before. That's good, Courtney. So she had already signed up for the Air Force, and I was like, okay, cool. You're like leaving next month. Well, she didn't leave next month. It took them 10 months to ship her out. So like we really started like building a connection. What I thought wasn't going to be anything really started to build. And then I always tell people, like, our biggest benefit in our relationship was she was gone for 10 months in Texas for basic training and then advanced individual training. And we got time apart without the bad blood that comes with it. So, a lot of times, like, if you split up, like, if you have time apart, it's because somebody did something wrong, right? Like, there's some bad blood there. You got to come. We didn't have that. We got time apart. And, like, I remember, like, the first phone call I got from her after basic, and I was like, I love you. Like, I didn't realize it, and I wouldn't say it when you were here. But, after that first phone call, like, I realized not having her around how much she meant to me. And she was going to go into nursing. Thankfully, she did a ton of training at SAMC in San Antonio and figured out, like, this ain't it, bro. Like she was just like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I mean, she saw some really bad stuff. She saw people that, had like gunshot wounds and dying and stuff. And it's like, man, it was a little too much. And she was like, I just don't want to do this. And so transitioned her over, and we've done a ton since then. We've had, tons of businesses, and it's been fun. It's not always been top of the mountain. I always say as you're climbing across the Alps, it's not just all up. You got to go up and down some. So we've definitely had to make it over some tough spots, but it's been fun, and it's been cool to see her transition and understand entrepreneurship. We had some friends over the other day, and they said something about like their dog, and Tori was like, write your dog off. And they're like, what? And we're like, yeah, advertising, like put him in social media posts. He's a deduction, And so it's just cool to see how her mind has evolved. And I think I kind of have just a natural knack for sales in business, but like seeing Tori go from like the traditional track of military and medical field to now like understanding business and us being able to talk together and ideate together and really just like see this world that we live in and like made this shit up. Like it didn't exist. It wasn't somebody else's plan. It was our plan that we just kind of made up and made happen. So it's been pretty fun.
Dude, entrepreneurship is just a bunch of made up ideas with action back behind them, baby. Let's go.
It's so fascinating.
Like, let's see if this one works.
Yeah. Like, these are all just thoughts and ideas. To watch them be born out into the world, to think this was just an idea. I think that is the coolest thing about entrepreneurship, is that you were given this dream, this hope, and you were given all the tools, the resources to solve them. All you have to do is take action on them.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't want to skip over, you talked about there were ups and downs, because a lot of our listeners are navigating partnerships, whether that's, marriage or spouse or just business partnerships. Talk to us a little bit about some things that you had to overcome to get to where you're at today.
Yeah. I think a lot of times when people come on podcasts, they're like, look at me, I'm such a badass, right? I make money, I'm successful. And I'm like,
Ego on the shoulder. Nothing but good things happening over here. It's all rainbows and sunshine, baby. We are good.
We have no problems. Yeah.
And I always tell young kids, I have a ton of high school and college age kids that follow me on social. And like, I tell them, like, you find a mentor that hasn't lost his ass on a couple of deals, you ain't got the right mentor in front of you. Like I always used to say that, business and life is like a minefield, right? There's all these, I don't want to just like go screaming butt naked through this minefield and hope that I don't step on one, right? Like I want to look around and see the people that are like missing arms and legs and be like, yo, bro, where'd you step at? Like, tell me what not to do. Because Jim Rohn said this in a seminar one time. He said, we have it all wrong. We take the most successful people and we say, hey, tell us what you did. He was like, that's not what you should do. If you want marriage advice, go find the guy that's been divorced 4 times and say, hey, tell me how you had it all and screwed it all up, right? Learn from that. And so we love sharing the story about our Jim, not J-I-M, J-Y-M, G-Y-M. And we had this fitness center that we bought. It needed a rebranding. It was like a heavy metal lifting gym, and it just wasn't what the community wanted.
House of Iron.
The House of Iron,
Yeah.
And they were trying to get like high school students and things like that in there. So we saw it, like we were like, there's an opportunity here. Let's buy this thing. Let's rebrand it. Let's create a supplement line. Let's create apparel. Let's turn it into 24 hours and put in some automations and Facebook ads and online signups. And so we did some really cool shit with it. It was probably, honestly, guys, one of like, to this day, it was the most fun business.
Loved it.
Yeah, that we had. Tori really loved it. She like was in there every day working the front
That was
desk.
my first like taste of entrepreneurship, because that's when I figured out, okay, I don't want to do nursing. DJ was like, why don't you just try to like help me run this? So I was the face of the gym. Like I did the day to day. That was kind of my first like, oh, this is really cool. Like we can make it on our own. I don't have to go and, go to school and do all of this crazy stuff to go work for somebody else. Like we can do it on our own. So we loved it. It was so much fun. It was so great until it wasn't.
Yeah, we grew that thing 300% 18 months.
Yeah.
I mean, just like a rocket ship. And then, I don't know, maybe call it greed got the best of me. Greed and then also just not knowing what you don't know. That's one of my favorite sayings is you don't know what you don't know. Had a real estate agent that came in and was like, hey, I've got some clients that are looking for a building like this. How much did it cost to build this thing? I was like, I don't know, bro. I bought it, but you want to buy it? Everything I got's for sale, right? Like the entrepreneur hustler in me was like, I'll sell it to you. And boy, oh boy, was that a mistake. The idea was that we were going to take the business unit and sell it to another one of the fitness centers in the area. Uh-oh, she's not happy. You don't like this story? We were gonna take the business unit and sell it to another fitness center in the area, and then take the real estate piece and sell it, and should come out clearing somewhere between like 60 and 100 grand. Right? It was gonna be a cool little flip. Own this thing 18 months. Like it was supposed to be a solid move. And then the real estate agent basically bent me over a barrel. Told me there was stuff in the contract that wasn't in the contract. I didn't know to like get my own legal representation to review the contract to make sure everything, the I's were dotted, T's were crossed. And long story short, man, we ended up losing the whole deal. The business fell apart essentially once word got out that we were selling. We lost 50% of our memberships in January of 2017. Quickly realized like, hey, this is not like we can't float this thing. We're losing thousands of dollars a month now. Lost $500,000 worth of real estate and a 6-figure business on that deal. And March 1st ended up, moving everything out, fire selling the equipment. One of the things I am proud about, though, is that we owed like $8,000 on a note on an equipment board. We bought the equipment, and I didn't default on that. I paid that thing back with my other company's money over like the next 3.5 years, because to me, it was a pride thing. Like, that guy screwed me over. That doesn't give me the right to screw my bankers over. And so I just took pride in that and was like, I'm still going to pay this note. And so we paid it off. Never had a bankrupt, never defaulted. But damn, that one hurt, boy.
Big life change.
I was fetal position on the couch for a while after that one. But Tori, that's the other thing, Michael. I think one of you guys mentioned, like, a lot of times, like, there's one entrepreneur, the other one's not. The power of having two people together on the same path was, while I was curled up in the fetal position crying like a little bitch because I just got my ass handed to me in the business world, she wasn't saying, yeah, you might need to go check out this manager position that just came available at Walgreens, right? She was like, hey, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. We'll get it. We'll get them on the next one. Like, we'll figure this thing out.
Well, I knew that's not you. Like, I knew that, okay, you can go get a sales job. You can go do whatever. And we would if we really needed to do it. Like, we are not above it. But you wouldn't love that. Like, you like being an entrepreneur. Your path in life is to help other people, and that wasn't an option for you. So for me, I mean, my biggest role has always been to just be a really good support system and to never tell you that, this is stupid, this is awful, because it's all crazy. Every bit of this is crazy to other people, like being an entrepreneur. Like, this is the wildest thing. You guys are insane. And it's like, but I think it's normal. It's fine, but we overcame. We did it.
Yeah, man. And you can't lose. If you're listening to this right now, you cannot lose if you don't give up. That's what I love about entrepreneurship. You cannot lose if you don't give up. In sports, right? Football, basketball, take any of them, right? Any competitive sport, there's some type of a time clock, right? Track and field, you only get to run 3 laps. You can't be like, oh, they beat me, let me run another one. No, like, that's the game, right? In this game, in business, bro, you can play until you're 85 plus years old. And some of the wealthiest, richest dudes that are making the most moves are the old heads that have been around forever. And it's like, you're not going to show up. And we believe this, like, is also true in relationships, is that we don't want to show up at our 50th anniversary like, oh, we're perfect. No harm, no foul. Like, no. You're going to have cuts, you're going to have scrapes, you're going to have bruises, but, like, man, not giving up, that's the X factor. That's how you win long term.
Are you an insurance agent struggling to meet your sales goals? Do you feel overwhelmed and disorganized, making it hard to keep track of your leads and close deals? If so, our sales training program is the solution you've been looking for. Our program is designed specifically for insurance agents who need help improving their sales skills and increasing their productivity. We understand that the insurance industry, it can be highly competitive, fast-paced, which is why we've created a program that will help you stay ahead of the curve and close more deals. We understand that your time is valuable, which is why we've created a program that is flexible and convenient. You can access the sales training lessons and coaching sessions from anywhere at any time, so you can fit your training around your busy schedule. Don't let the lack of sales training hold you back from achieving your full potential as an insurance agent. Sign up for our sales training program today and start closing more deals, generating more revenue, and achieving your sales goals with more confidence. There's so much more to the program. So if you're interested in joining the program that's helped over 10,000 insurance agents nationwide, visit our website, www.weaversa.com, or send me a text directly at 816-727-7610 with any questions to find out more. The trick to the game. Stay in the game, baby. Like, stay in the game.
All you have to do.
Yes.
Stay
it's not always
in the
going to be
game.
pretty. You're going to get elbows in the face, but, it'll be fine. You'll survive at the end. It'll be okay.
So, DJ, I want to ask just real fast, because when you were down, and because you said earlier, the best thing you can do is believe in yourself. And I think as entrepreneurs, at least me personally, I've struggled with this and some of the changes that we've made from business to business, to where you're like, shit, maybe, damn, that was an L. Oh man, I'm getting kicked. I just don't feel like it. So what are the things that you do? Sometimes you lose that, I don't want to say you completely lose the belief in yourself, but your confidence goes way down, or at least it has for me anyways in the past. What have you done to bring that belief back in yourself, whether it's through daily practices, weekly, monthly, just getting back in the game? Like, what does that look like for someone right now that feels your pain, they're struggling, they don't want to show up because they just took an L, or the business is struggling?
Yeah. I think you got to understand that in business, you can lose quarters, you can lose games, or you can lose seasons, right? Like, all L's are not the same. I think that's the first thing you got to realize. Just because, like, you didn't close that big life insurance policy that maybe you was betting your whole year on, right? That thing didn't come through. Doesn't mean that, like, it's over, right? Even though I lost $500,000 worth of real estate, and let me just give you the ego check real quick. Like, I have it written in my goals. It pops up on my Facebook timeline every year. I wanted to be a millionaire by the age of 30, right? I got there at 27. I lost it at 29. And so it was more than just losing the real estate piece. It was like I felt like I went backwards. I achieved a big goal of mine, and then I went backwards. And that was, I think it was more of an ego shot. I also think you got to realize, like, what's your purpose in life? Sometimes a loss is nothing more than God moving some shit out of the way so that you can be on the path you really were supposed to be on in the first place. Mm-hmm. And that's a tough one. That's a tough one to learn, because we don't always see it. But I love what Joel Osteen says, is like, God doesn't work in the natural, he works in the supernatural. And sometimes you don't even see the stuff coming, man. You can't even like the life we live right now. I never planned to have a 50-acre ranch and have a baby. Like, for the longest time, I was like, I don't want a kid. But it's like, man, this thing is like, amazing. I'm pointing down. Like, if people can't see it on the podcast, she's like crawling around underneath the table at this point. She's a menace to society. Yeah. But wait till she starts doing deals. Yeah. But I really think that if you're in a spot right now, you struggle, go back to the basics, right? Like, are you getting up in the morning? Whew, boy, you go hop your ass in some 35-degree water. That'll get it out of your brain real quick. You know, Michael, I've been talking to Michael for 6+ months about cold plunging, and I was like, I had like $8,000 cold plunges in a cart, and I was like, I don't know, should I not? And I was like, you know what? Tired of making excuses. I went to Tractor Supply. I bought a $129 100-gallon trough, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna fill this thing up, and we're gonna rock and roll. And I'll tell you, it was a game changer. But go back to the basics, man. Focus on you. When the external world starts kicking your ass, focus on winning inside the 6 inches between your ears first. Get up in the morning, cold plunge, work out, meditate, listen to some good stuff, get some motivation in your ears, and get your mind right. Because after I do a Tony Robbins breathing exercise, hop in a cold plunge, get a good sweat in from a workout, meditate and pray about my family and blessings to the people that I love and care about, it's hard for me to show up and be in a bad mood. Mm-hmm. Even if I got my ass handed to me yesterday, it's tough for me to show up and be in a bad mood like that, right? And so I think what happens is when you take those L's, and I know if I look back, I like it like tumbles like a set of blocks, right? Like the one little bitty loss then compounds. And then next thing you know, it's like you're looking around, you ain't take a shower in 4 days. You smell funky. You ain't loved on your wife. Like, it's like there's other shit now that starts, and you think it's still just that one life insurance policy you didn't close, right? Yep. But it's not. And so the other thing too is if you're in sales, like I know you guys got a lot of people that listen to this that are in sales that aren't necessarily agents, but they're sales reps. I'm a big firm believer in, if you're having a hard time closing a deal right now, go help somebody else close a deal. Momentum, right? Like, I don't need you to hit a home run. Maybe you just need to sacrifice bunt and get that run in off of third base. Go help somebody else close a deal and get your momentum back up and going. Tori, what do you think? What did you have to do to help me? Like, if I have down spells, or like when we lost the gym, what was the recommended prescription to get me back and going?
Well, really, it's really just to not let you be a Debbie Downer. Like, you're not going to just lay about the couch and, oh, poor me, woe is me. Like, yeah, that shit sucks. It was awful. Like, it was horrible, but you're not going to get anywhere doing that. Like, you got to get up and try it again. Like, let's go. Let's figure out what we did wrong, and let's pivot and do something else. Like, just supporting you and doing that, but sometimes giving you the kick in the ass that you have to keep on going, because it's not always easy, especially after a big loss like that, or after something isn't going your way, or you keep trying something and it's not happening. Like, just keep it going, man. Just keep it going.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Yes, Nemo that.
I love that so much. I'm like Chuck Norris when it comes to
Yes.
kicking somebody in the ass. Like, I will roundhouse kick you. We got to keep it moving. Like, what's the
Yes.
lesson? Keep it moving. So if somebody's listening to this, because I think
Wait just a minute, though.
What?
I don't
Uh-oh.
think that we can. I don't want to just skip over the fact, though, that it's also okay
To have a moment.
for a certain amount of time to
It
have
is.
a moment and process. Now, it's going to paralyze you for a hot minute. Like when you're in this mindset, when you're feeling down, look, it's going to paralyze you for a second, but it's okay to also feel those feelings, feel those emotions, but it can't last forever. And that's when that kick in the ass, like, and you do a great job of that. Like you've let me process at certain times in our career when things haven't went well. When things do go well, little Willow's like,
Case in
man, I
point.
don't know about this. I don't know
Yeah.
about this podcasting, but I don't want to skip past it because I think so much of what we've been taught over the last 10, 15, 20 years from little sound bites on social media is just do whatever it takes. Just do more. And it's like, bro, that's not it. Like I'm beating my head against the freaking wall right now. It's not about just doing more and doing whatever it takes. It's about doing something different that actually works that I'm passionate about.
Ooh, I love that. So not just pushing through. I think having your moment, everyone has to have their moment, because if not, if you sweep that shit under the rug and you try to Chuck Norris all the way through,
Just
it
doesn't come
comes
back.
back. It comes back bigger and meaner, but don't let the moment become your life story.
That's right.
Don't let one thing. And I think that in entrepreneurship, we put so much weight on single decisions, and it is a culmination of a lot of different things. Just like the Chiefs game last night. So the Chiefs and the Bills, and everyone.
I was wondering if this was going to come up.
Oh, hell yeah.
How about them Chiefs,
How about
baby?
Okay, so think about entrepreneurship like a game. And it's easy to look at the kicker and go, the kicker missed the field goal. And that's the problem. And it's like, no, it's an entire game. There's a lot of moves that went into that. It's not just one single decision,
That's right.
which is great, because in entrepreneurship, it's not going to be one thing that makes or breaks you. It's going to be stacked on top of each other, decision after decision. But I do want to go back to the lesson, because I think in entrepreneurship, that's a gift. When you do take an L, it is a lesson. It is, okay, because once you make a decision that knocks your legs out from under you, you don't ever make that decision again. You learn
Oh.
it. You're like, all right, I got it.
The reason I lost that gym was because I didn't hire an attorney to look over the contracts to like make sure that essentially there was supposed to be a confidentiality clause in there. Long story, and I mean we try to sue, and I lost a lawsuit on top of it. Like it was, I mean, add insult to injury, like rip the wounds back open. But essentially there was a supposed to be a confidentiality clause in there. The guy told me there wasn't. So then once the buyer had their deal wrapped up, they went chirping around. That's why we lost the membership. Bet that I've got 3 attorneys on speed dial now, right? I got a contract guy, I got a real estate guy, and I got a pit bull of a litigator that if you want to sue me, like, let's go, we'll go. But you got to learn those lessons. And Michael, I would tell you though, like the one thing, I don't even want to call it a pushback, but like the thing about that, you're going to take these losses. You can't just like hop right back on the horse. Yes, but the faster you can lick your wounds and get back in the game, I think long-term determines your level of success. Meaning that if you lose that deal and you want to sit around and mope for a month, the guy that lost the same deal and only mopes for a day, he's going to whoop your ass long-term. And because I do believe like business is,
But for
like
how
you read about
long?
the old school.
But for how long, DJ? I'm going to cut
Well,
you off here.
Hold on, because I
Let's
think
go. Yeah,
it's,
no,
I'm going
I
to
love
interject
it.
too, because I think that I see both sides of this, but I think the piece, if you pull it out, that gets you back like in the game is reflection and going, what do I need to do better? Or what do I need to do different?
Mhm.
Not just blowing past, but actually having a moment of reflection and going in of you feeling uncomfortable, feeling like, I got my ass kicked. What do I need to do different? What do I need to do better? And then, you have to try it out. You have to get
And
back to it.
I guess my point with that is, again, you lose games, you lose seasons, right? You like don't let losing a half or a quarter affect you the same way it is losing the Super Bowl. Because I know people that are like that, right? They lose a quarter, something small, and they're moping around like they just lost the whole damn season, right? The mental toughness. I had a high school basketball coach. He used to say, Carroll, what wins championships is physical fitness and mental toughness. And I think that is true in business as well, right? Physical fitness, mental toughness. Because if you're not physically fit, you don't have the stamina. And if you don't have the mental fitness, when you get punched in the mouth, you want to cry versus going, all right, let's square up and fight back. I truly believe we've turned into this, like, it's almost like the emotional piece of this has, like, yes, I used to think like meditation was like stupid. I'm like, why would you meditate? Why would you just sit there with your eyes closed and just focus on your breathing? It's so dumb. And then I did it, and I was like, shit, this stuff's a game changer. So, like, I think you have to be careful to, like, know where the limit is, because if you look back in the day, man, and you read the biographies of guys like Carnegie and Rockefeller and J.P. Morgan, these motherfuckers were ruthless, like ruthless. And I think we've gotten to a place in business where it's supposed to be like, kumbaya, let's all hold hands and sing together. And I think some people forget, like, this is a sport. At least that's the way I look at it. And I show up to play like that every day. And so, like, if you want to sit on the sidelines licking your wounds for months and figure out playing shoulda, woulda, coulda, there's part of that where you can do that for a week, and then I need Courtney to come around and house your ass and get you back in the game.
Dude, I'm going to kumbaya the shit out of you, because I am definitely going to not.
Oh, you're a hippie. I would expect that.
Yeah. So our Riverside just gave a thumbs up. Like, that's our AI on our computers. And I'm like, yeah, she's a hippie. Let's do it.
And look, and I'm with you, DJ. Like, I get it. Like, and look, and I used to feed my mind the Grant Cardones of the world, like whoever, like, just do it, just do more, just 10x. And it's like, there's something about grinding. There's something about just running forward all the time until you experience what I have experienced is like serious burnout of even questioning, like, why am I doing this? Specifically when I hit one of my big goals in life. I hit the 7-figure club, and it's like, oh, this is great. Is this it? This is what I've sacrificed the last 22 to 30, what we're 32, so 10 years. I've sacrificed the last 10 years of my life for this. This is it? Like, this is what I've been, dude. I was in a weird situation when that happened, and I did crawl in a little hole. And I'm with you. You can stay there, but you can't stay there forever because you're out of the game. And you do. And I also think that times, look, it's not a dog eat dog world. I think that sometimes there is that room for force, but there's also the time for abundance and collaboration. I know those are like some keywords that get thrown around where people, I'm abundant, but you know what? If you're my competitor, I'm feeding my family before I feed yours. So I'm like, bro, you just said you're abundant, and you also just said you're going to kick my ass in the same sentence. Like, I don't know about this, man. So I'm with you, and I don't want to go back and forth on this. I think that everyone probably deals with emotions differently, and I think meditation practices are great. I also think that, like, my word for the year is health. And I agree with what you just said, physically fit and mentally tough. Because by prioritizing my health, what's going on the inside, I automatically feel more fit. I feel more confident. And that's going to come out on the outside as well. Like, you, for sure, you crush that one. Like, I agree 100%.
I think the big thing with this too is, if you are in this season, I think there are two things that can help gather energy and momentum to push you out of this. And it's what we talked about in the very beginning. It is purpose. Why are you doing this? Why are you getting up every single day? Go back to that.
100%.
And it's also the people that you surround yourself with. I think those are the two biggest things, because on the days that you don't have belief in yourself, who is there to breathe fire onto your dreams? Like, those are the two. Like, if you're listening to this, regardless of where you fall on this spectrum of how fast you get back up and how, gritty you are with taking action, you have to harness your power and your purpose, and you have to carefully select your hype squad. Like, carefully select who gets on the bus with you at the end of the concert. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah, because not everybody in your circle more than likely wants you to be successful. Like, that's just how it is. Like, so you got to pick your circle carefully. Like,
choose wisely.
Like that's why we have
Absolutely.
a very small circle. But
That's
anyway,
why our circle's tiny.
DJ,
And it gets smaller every year, doesn't it, guys? It gets smaller every year.